You're listening to the One Man Show Network. Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast with your host, Aaron Weinbaum.
Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Weinbaum, and I just realized I did something wrong here. I'm hooked up to the wrong network, and hopefully I can get that fixed. I'm going to try to talk through this while I can. No, I am not seeing the network. Great. Well, hopefully I can do this smoothly here. It's unbelievable. There's always something here. All right, I'm going to turn off my hotspot here. Turn it back on. Hopefully it shows back up. But in the meantime, if you all have any questions or comments, I'm going to try to get you all in there. And I'll be a son of a biscuit if this is not going to hold. So forget about that for now. I do have some viewers, so thank you for that. Let me try turning this off and on. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, you know what? We're going to get to this here. I'll go over my sponsors in just a minute. We are picking the fights for this Saturday, December 5th, 2020, at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. Super stoked about that. Just another card. I know it's another main event that fell through last week. We had a main event fall through with Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis, but Anthony Lionheart-Smith delivered against Devin Clark. And, just kudos for the UFC for just having a backup plan over and over again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to reboot my phone here. What a pain. See, this is a situation where I have to go off my hotspot versus my internet. And so if I've lost you all just by talking about that, or if my signal has been gone, I am super, super sorry about that. But the audio version of this will be clear as a bell. So let's get to the first fight of the night here. Gian Villante against Jake Collier. Why am I picking this card? It's all the way at the bottom. You got two guys that shouldn't be at heavyweight, but they are. Jake Collier fighting all the way down from middleweight. Gian Villante just not being in shape and fighting at heavyweight. Well, I'm going to tell you a little story while I'm trying to get this internet situation fixed. Jake Collier, I don't know if he would even remember me or not, many, many, many years ago, worked for me. So, in a way, I guess I was his boss, right? And during such time, there was a rumor he was going to beat somebody up at work. So, I had to talk to the guy, which not fun for me, right? And I didn't know who he was, and they're like, be careful, this kid's tough. And he had to have been a teenager at the time. So I just go in there thinking, man, this guy's tall. This guy's really tall. But I did. I did talk to him, and he was cool about it. He was like, hey, you can't beat this kid up on property or whatever it was. And I do remember him being cool about it. All right, I'm going to try, hopefully I can switch this off without a hitch. And that was it, basically. That was the end of the confrontation, if you will. So I don't know if this is going to pick up or not. This is all so risky. All right, it did not pick up. I'm going to try one more time here. Come on, hotspot. You can do it. You can lost the stream. Unbelievable. So YouTube's probably shot at this point. Damn. All right, I got most of you back. That's great. Anyway, so Jake is not suited at heavyweight. I don't know what you heard before the stream went off, but at all. And he just looks like, sorry, man, he just looks like an out-of-shape dude at heavyweight. So I'm hoping that he comes a little more of an in-shape heavyweight. I don't have any inside information on his training or any of that. So we'll see what happens there. Let's see here. His last win was 2017 against Marcel Fortuna. And I did see the fight against Devin Clark. That was a weird fight. It was in Kansas City. I was actually there, coincidentally, and he kept just doing some weird, like, spinning weird stuff. And Devin Clark looked kind of small compared to him, I'll be honest. Before that, a win. The guy way back at UFC Fight Night 88 against Alberto. So just a real spotty record. And then you got Gian Villante. You know, he's had some success at light heavyweight. It seems like every time I advertise my YouTube link, something happens, and this stream just totally got shot out of the water here. That's all right. The audio will sound good, just like always. It does. Just lost against Gian Villante. Just lost against Maurice Green, who's not the most in shape guy himself. Maurice, of course, just getting starched by Greg Hardy. Chris Camozzi, a grappling bout? What the heck? That's a mismatch right there, and it was a draw. Before that, loser to Michel Oleksiejczuk, punch to the body. Wins against Ed Herman, a split decision. A loss against Sam Alvey, another split decision. So John's not coming in that impressive either, but I got to think he'll come in better shape than Jake, unless Jake shows me something. So I got John on that one. Okay, next up, Luis Smolka against Jose Alberto Quinonez. I can't say that right. Quinonez. All right, I'm done. Of course, oh yeah, I forgot he lost that head kick to Sean O'Malley. Has a win over Carlos Huachin. A loss to Nathaniel Wood. Golly, you did have some wins though in a row there. True to Ashira, Diogo Rivas, Joey Gomez. So he's been in the UFC longer than I thought. Oh my gosh, how do I not barely know who this guy is? So he's been in the UFC since 2014. All right. Smolka, you may remember, fought at flyweight for a time before coming to some alcohol issues. And he said we'd get blackout drunk when he was supposed to be training and all that kind of stuff. And it looks like he's turned it around here. So good on him. Let's just take a look at his last fight. Casey Kenny, he lost to an armed guillotine. That was back in May of this year. Before that, he beats Ryan McDonald. Matt Schnell, he loses to him. So just kind of real back and forth here. And he was in the regional scene for a while after he got cut from the UFC. And, you know, he won how many fights in a row to get back? 1, 2, 3, 4 fights in a row to get back to the UFC. So good on him. Geez, this is a tough one. This is not one I can really pick on strength of schedule, except for, you know, you got to say Quinonez had his chance against O'Malley, but, you know, Casey Kenny's no joke either. You know, I am going to go with Luis Smolka here. I mean, he's worked his way back to the UFC, and I would like to think he gets that done right there. All right, let's see here. Yeah, gosh darn it. I'm just looking at my split stream here. I have no idea what YouTube did. So, anyway, all right. The co-main event, if you would like to help me pick this fight, that is fine. This co-main event is brought to you by HeroSoapCompany.com. Promo code MMAFP gets you 20% off. That is, 10% off, not 20. There's all natural soaps made by veterans, for veterans, benefiting veterans, rather, I should say. It's great, all natural stuff. My favorite is Peppermint Plus Cool. So you can visit them as well. Oh, my man, Jeffy. What's up, buddy? I had a screwed up stream. He says they're getting desperate for these fights cards, LOL. Yeah, man, I don't know. That's tough to say. I'm trying to add you to the broadcast here. Oh, there you are. Yeah, I don't know. It's not as bad of a card as it could be. You know, the main event was going to be, now I'm blanking on the main event here. Hermansson versus, Joker number 1. Hey, that's funny because that's Hermansson's name is Joker. He said Joker number 1 fighting Joker number 2. Nobody's heard coming right up, son. Ha! Hey, listen, Ovince Preux is fighting on this card, okay? He's good. Now, the guy he's fighting of, Jamahal Hill, I've not really heard of him. I'm blanking on this fight now that was canceled. It was supposed to be Jack Hermansson. Gosh, let me see if I can get the info on that. Why am I blanking on this? Because I was doing work on this, believe it or not, and now there's no summary. Somebody help me out here. Who was originally supposed to be on this Hermansson card? Darren Till. Thank you. Darren Till. And I think there was one more guy that fell out because of that. So co-main, I'm going over right now, Beanick. It is the Ovince, Preux, and Jamahal. So if you want to talk about St. Preux for a second here, he just beat a very game Alonzo Menafield, I believe. Yeah. And, this is coming back down from heavyweight, which I thought he was fine at heavyweight against Ben Rothwell. That was a split decision loss. That guy weighed like 240 pounds. He didn't look fat or anything. Marvin Hagler. Everyone's heard of Marvin Hagler. Jeff's messing with me during my broadcast here. So Alonzo Menafield was up-and-comer, but he's 24-14. OSP absolutely should have won that fight. Before that, he's got that vanted. It's the Von Flue choke. They call it the Von Preux choke. He did lose to Dominic Reyes. No shame in that. He did just fight for the title. He has a loss against Akita Crowell. So I could see why he wanted to try heavyweight. I wish he would have stayed at heavyweight because those guys are huge. Like Ben Rothwell, the guy he fought there, he's a big guy. He cuts down from 265. And, it's going to be a little something feeling that kind of weight on you. But it is what it is. He didn't stay at at heavyweight. He's back at light heavyweight and said nobody's ever heard of Hall. You know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm not real familiar with this guy, but I'm going to pick this anyways because there's not a whole lot of fights if I don't pick it. He is coming off of 2 wins in the both in the UFC. Glitzen Abreu, Darko Stiosic. Have you heard of those? I have not either. I'm not going to lie, Beanick. He's not fought anyone I've really ever heard of. Alexander Popek, William Vincent, but he hasn't lost either. Do I see a loss? No. I don't see a loss on his record at all. So a 9-fight win streak, but I think it's going to be like the Alonzo Menafield fight, and he's going to do it. And Beanick's right. He sleepwalks through his fights. I assume you're talking about OSP, and he finds ways to win. And I think he's going to do the same. Here's the veteran here. He said way more stiff competition, including the former light heavyweight champion John Jones. So now people are saying this Hermansson fight, Vettori's a worse matchup for him than Darren Till was. So I don't know about that. Hermansson just had that real quick heel hook on Kelvin Gastelum, if you recall. Let's just take a look here. Before that, he did lose to Jared Cannonier, just an uppercut to the ground and pound in round 2. And we saw what, there's levels to this game. Because we saw what Robert Whittaker did to Cannonier. And so you got to wonder where Hermansson is. And did he just get caught with an uppercut? You got to worry the same thing about Kelvin Gastelum. Did he just get caught with this crazy heel hook? I think so. Before that, just a whole bunch of wins in a row. Jacare Souza, David Branch, Gerald Mershart, GM3, friend of the podcast. Thales Ladies, he did lose to Thiago Santos. That was back in 2017. That guy's no joke. So, yeah, let's take a look at Vettori. So, I haven't had time to really examine Vettori, so I'm just kind of going on the fly here. Did just beat Carl Robertson. Did beat Andrew Sanchez. Cesar Fiera. Loses to Israel Adesanya, a split decision. So this is back in 2018, but that just kind of tells you he's no joke because he went toe-to-toe with the champ, and it was a split decision. So he's got that case. If he impresses with a real good win, he could say, I'm next for the title because Robert Whittaker is not really clamoring at the chance here. And who knows when or if this light heavyweight title fight between Israel and Jan Blachowicz will happen. So now Beanick is telling me he heard a vicious rumor. You can't just say you heard a vicious rumor and then leave it. What is the vicious rumor, my man? I'll leave it there. But I am going to say, besides Israel Adesanya, the issue that Hermansson has faced has been much, much more intense. Let me see here. I mean, Kelvin was no joke, and look what he did to him. Jacare Souza, no joke. David Branch, well, maybe a little bit. But I am going to go, split with Israel, buddy. That is true. Yeah, Marvin Vettori back in 2018 now had a split decision against Israel Adesanya. So, yes. But that being said, before I give my pick, I've got to tell you something. This podcast is sponsored by Manscaped.com. Manscaped.com. Promo code MMAFP for 20% off and free shipping. Do you understand me? So here's what's going on here. They sent me the Lawnmower 3, which I have not gotten to use yet because I just mowed with the Lawnmower 2. But never, ever, ever think for a second you don't get to upgrade. There are things you can do. I passed it down to my firstborn son. Now he has the Lawnmower 2. I also got sent with me some ball spritz. I kid you not. It's like a pick-me-up for the middle of your day. I'm killing it. I'm telling you. It revives you. It awakens you. I got some ball deodorant as well. So I'm looking forward to cranking out the even waterproof Lawnmower 3. There's nothing wrong with the Lawnmower 2, but I'm telling you, you're going to want to upgrade. You're going to want to pass it down to a friend. You could re-gift it. You could do whatever you want. So that is manscaped.com, promo code MMAFP. Don't take a trimmer to your balls. You're going to cut them up. It's not going to be pretty. And you know what? You don't want to use the same thing on your face that you're using on your balls. There's that risk of a bit of a Fermunda cheese transfer. And if you don't know what that is, send me a message. I'll let you know. I'll tell you what it is. All right. Now, my man being based on the Adesanya split decision has Vettori. But I'm going to disagree. I think Hermansson's had the stiffer competition here, and he's going to get it done. But you don't know. He hasn't had time to prepare for Marvin either. He was preparing for a striker here in Darren Tills, but you never know. That's it. Everyone on Twitter was awfully quiet today. But with that, I'm gonna leave you, and we will see you next week for another amazing card. Beanick, my man, thank you as always. And until next time, shalom. And don't forget, manscaped.com. Promo code MMAFP, 20% off.
Please remember to support the podcast by visiting the affiliate links on AaronSaysWhat.com.